Okay, today is Thursday, August 26th, and I'm making this video for my daughter primarily um, because I keep trying to tell her about this book, um, The Fourth Turning, and somehow, I don't know, maybe it's my third turningness that clashes with her fourth turningness. Um, but I thought maybe if I articulate this in a video, I might even help myself to kind of crisp up and be more concise. So, anyways, here goes. I heard about this book, The Fourth Turning, actually on one of Lynn Alden's interviews, or an interview that Lynn Alden gave with someone. Either it was David Lynn or Daniela Cambone or someone. And she kind of mentioned about how well, anyways, she spoke about the book, and then I also heard about it on one of something by Ray Dalio. So I got curious, and I listened to the book myself on Audible, and I found it not just very kind of prophetic because the authors spoke about almost foretold all this stuff that has happened, between the '08 GFC and the pandemic, etc. But it was not just that, but it was the fact that it was actually quite a hopeful message, because it spoke about sort of these cycles that we go in. And I've also been very much into astrology, and I found out that I just looked up sort of where were all the planets during the 1770 whatever, and the 1850 whatever, and the 1930s whatever, and now. And I discovered that actually the planet Uranus was in the exact same location during all those times, and that the planet Uranus runs on an 84-year cycle. And incidentally, the Fourth Turning book hypothesizes a sort of 80-year cycle, and this ancient concept of a seculum spans a 90-year cycle. And I wonder if it's not, well, maybe it's not Uranus, maybe it's not 80, maybe it's not 90 years, maybe it is simply a long lifespan, or the average present circa lifespan that kind of dictates these sort of cycles we go through. Anyways, so this book, The Fourth Turning, written in the mid or late 1990s, during the third turning, talks about the coming fourth turning, which hypothetically goes from about, he says, the mid '00s. In our case, I guess it happened in the '08 GFC, but actually, according to Uranus and those sort of planetary things, it's more between '09 plus 7, and then another 7, and then another 7. So it's like three loops that it does, or 3 different signs that it does. And planetarily or astrologically, it goes sort of, in the say Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, and then Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. So starting with each cardinal sign, and I say cardinal sign, you may not know what cardinal is. Aries Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn are the 4 cardinal signs. They are also sort of the leader signs. Then the second month, or like I'm saying second month because as a finance person, I sort of think in quarters, So Jan, April, July, October, which also coincide with say Capricorn, Aries, Cancer, Libra. Anyway, so those 4 are the cardinal signs. Then comes the fixed signs, which are sort of the stubborn. They don't want to lead, but they also don't want to follow. And that's Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Those 4 are the fixed signs. And then there are the mutable signs that are like really good at communication. They're very flexible minded and flexible in their communication and thinking. Mind you, so communication and thinking kind of go together because, and if you think about the word itself, logos, logic, how we think is how we speak, and how we speak is how we think. And clearly from my rambling, you can figure out that I'm one of those rambling connected thinkers, which is accurate because according to the Strengths Finder test, I'm actually very high on connectedness. So, oh frick, I did the same mistake again. Damn it, I'm blocking the intersection now. Please go, please go. Please go yellow. Yes, thank you, God. Okay, so anyway, so I tend to connect a lot of different things, and which is why sometimes it becomes a little bit hard to communicate because I'm almost talking about everything at once. So back to this book, The Fourth Turning. So in this fourth turning, what I really like about this book is that it not only sort of goes back in those patterns of of the different of what happened sort of in the in the first part, like say post-war, everybody kind of coming together. And I say post-war, but I mean like even the previous ones, like whether it was a revolutionary one or the civil one, whatever they were, all of those, after all of that fragmentation and craziness, there's this time of like where that whole generation, that 20-year period, that whole generation is marked with a sense of like yay, we prevailed kind of thing. And then there's a sort of disillusionment with like now what? And that's kind of, if you think about it in terms of like the baby boomers, then the late 1960s flower power, whatever. I don't know, I didn't grow up in this country, but what was that love fest or whatever they had in the late 60s, and then the birth control pill, and then comes like sort of the inevitable fragmentation perhaps of the family structure, because of all this, like, well, not excessive freedom, but kinda, revolutionary like spirit. And then there's that, and then there's the third turning people, in which I was raised, or I came of age, which is kind of questions everything, and considers sort of that silent generation type of compliance as a sheeple phenomenon, even though it's not for them. For them, it's not. For a third turning person, it is. Anyway, so what I thought was really cool about this book is that it outlines each 20-ish year period like this. Well, astrologically, I would say it's a 21-year period, with each new set beginning at the new cardinal sign, which means when Uranus is in Aries, when Uranus is in Cancer, when Uranus is in Libra, and then when Uranus is in Capricorn. Those kind of other, like the the new generation markers, if you will, or the new, that 21-year generation markers. So yeah, so I thought it was hopeful because it not only describes each 20-year sort of epoch in that way, but it also in addition to that, like, it just doesn't describe that epoch. It describes sort of the personality characteristics of people of each of that sort of archetype, and what their struggles are, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses, or sort of like, areas where they need to like think about, what am I missing that the previous generation say knows. He describes all of that in a really nice sort of tabular format. Even if like you Google, fourth turning archetypes, it'll sort of tell you, what your archetype is, and even if you Google like, what year does Uranus like transit stuff, and like make your own little chart. I do have a little chart at home that I've drawn up on paper, just to kind of mentally note when big stuff is happening. But in any case, knowing what your archetype is, knowing where your pitfalls lie, where the potential pitfalls of the present time and the present zeitgeist are, that's really important, I think. And also in terms of preparing for what's to come, not just financially, but like socially, and even in your own personality, of what you might need to develop. Now, as a parent, one thing that I found really useful about that book was that it really helped me to understand my children in a way, because like one of my children, my middle one, I'll just say, I'm just shocked at what a sheeple he is. Like, really, I'm like, seriously, dude, how you're just going to like not question authority? Seriously? Like, how? And it's shocking to me because like he is, like, God help us if we try to get him to do anything around the house, but he will mask up and do what he's told, like, in a heartbeat. It's like, yes sir. And I am just shocked by that. I was shocked by that, I should say. I'm not that shocked about it now when I, after having read the fourth turning book, because I'm like, oh right, because he's born in this generation. This is, he is unfortunately sort of the silent generation of what we've known, and and he saves everything. He, like, not hoards everything, but like he's the one who will, like, hold on to like random objects, and or like he'll just keep them. And I'm a little shocked by that too. I'm like, why? Initially I was like, now after 2020 I'm like, yeah, please hoard away, and yeah, he's a silent generation kid, unfortunately, or not, maybe fortunately. Anyways, so I don't know whether that told you anything much about the fourth turning book or whatever, but I hopefully communicated why the fourth turning book was something that I derived value from, and how I connected it to not just the long-term debt cycle that Lynn Alden and Ray Dalio have spoken about, but also sort of the astrological turns and turnings, and how it helps with sort of generational conversations within the family also. I hope this was helpful. If you listen to this and you are not my daughter, well, even if Liesel, even if you want to comment on it, that's fine. But if you want to comment and ask me more questions about the astrological stuff, etc., because I have like done a lot of scribblings on that front. But if there's anything of interest that you want me to explore further about this book, about the turnings, about the astrological turnings, just drop me a note in the comments. Okay? Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye.